I admit I was scared. I didn't know much about babies. And even though she was consciously conceived, things don't always go as planned. Sure enough, about halfway into the pregnancy, we learned that my oldest daughter, Kira, had a congenital heart defect and would require immediate medical attention after birth. At 2 weeks old, she had her first open heart surgery. It didn't go well. They had to do it again. Sounds devastating, right? To be honest, I was okay. I had pillars for parents, and we were at one of the best children's hospitals on the planet, just up the road. Community care and support were endless. Tobacco was burned for us. A jingle dress dance was done in her honor. A benefit fundraiser was held for us at the Fort Erie Native Friendship Center. I don't remember hearing about postpartum anything. I didn't need it. I was fine. Community care, feeding people, sharing food, that's what I do. For 30 years, I've been feeding people and educating people about healthy food and nutrition, often with a special focus on feeding children. But it wasn't until after having 5 children of my own that I learned how important it is to feed moms. Sometime after Kira's 3rd open heart surgery, my son Aiden was born in hospital with unexplainable neurological issues. The prognosis was not good. After only 1 month, I couldn't even pump enough breast milk to feed him through a tube. I couldn't eat. Liquid meals in a can kept me going through the motions. Sounds devastating, right? It was. But again, family, community, our midwives, doctors, nurses, home support workers kept the care and support coming. As I held my 18-month-old son in my arms and watched him take his last breath, I thanked him for letting me be his mom. And I told him it was okay to go. It was his time, and it was okay. Rachel Garcia Saliga, founder of Innate Traditions Postpartum Care, tells us that an awareness of grief can sometimes surface for the first time in the initial postpartum period. It can feel so hard, she says, like something is missing. What's missing, she says, is community. And when we acknowledge the destruction of our communities, we acknowledge ancestral grief. Feeding people, community care, sharing food, these were once the norm in Lodinut Shuni, or Six Nations communities. In a traditional longhouse village, no one was hungry, no one was homeless. Women were in charge of food production and their bodies. Colonial and medicalized practices have caused destruction in our communities. But we can re-relate by remembering how to take care of each other again, the way we were biologically intended. Fast forward a few years, and my daughter Olivia was born in her great-grandmother's house. Friends and family came and shared food and celebrated with us our joy and our relief. Agwegonscana. We were all at peace. 5 years later, we did it again. Another baby girl, Francesca, Franny, born at home. I now had 3 kids, and I was away from my immediate family. My father and my grandmother had both died the year before. I had plenty of friends, but they were all moms with as many or more kids than I had. Another 5 years later, 7 years ago, at 42 years old, I gave birth at home to my daughter, Violet. I had planned and prepared everything. It was perfect. And then something happened. Nothing happened. I was physically broken, mentally exhausted, emotionally drained. How could no one see this? Why didn't I say anything? Because I'm Superwoman. Truth is, we're all superwomen, but at what expense? As moms, we're conditioned to think we need to do it all, be all things to all people all the time. Birth without fear like real women. Grow the corn, then cook it into soup. Learn an endangered language, then teach it to your kids. I don't know any moms who haven't experienced some level of postpartum depletion. Now, I imagine if you've heard anything about postpartum anything, it's postpartum depression. This is a huge disservice. It makes us think that something is wrong with the mother. It takes her out of the whole family and community constellation. In my own words, in my own opinion, it should be called postpartum community care deficit disorder. See, from my own experiences, I think we can handle almost anything if we have enough love and support around us. Without it, even caring for a beautiful, precious, but screaming baby at 3 a.m. can be too much to bear. Even though all humans come to the world in the same way, we seem to have forgotten some basic knowledge about how to support this process. In order to ensure the vital repair of bodies, after the rigorous work of pregnancy, labor, and delivery, a few essential things should happen. First of all, moms must be allowed to rest, and moms must be allowed to rest so that her body can heal properly and naturally, particularly in the pelvic floor. Mom should be kept warm, especially in the core, so that her uterus can go back into place. Mom should be fed warm, nutrient-dense, easy-to-digest foods that she did not have to prepare herself. To restore her body and so that she could have enough energy to feed another human with her body. Moms are so amazing, aren't they? Perhaps the least understood aspect of postpartum care is the need for moms to have community support and social engagement. These are necessary so that mom has a sense of safety and security and to support her process of becoming a mother. In Ganyangeha, the Mohawk language, children can be referred to as the Dahadi Gunsun Dunje, the new faces that are coming toward us from out of the ground. That ground is Yetini Sta Ohunja, our mother, the earth. As women, we are the embodiment of Mother Earth. Our bodies reflect the vulnerability of the planet. The health of women and the health of the environment need to improve. We know this. But this is where we can start, right at the beginning, right at the juncture where humanity and motherhood meet. Feeding and nourishing women who just brought new life to the planet. And by extension, their babies, their families, and their futures. Isn't about being nice, and it's not about giving or getting free food, and it's more than community care. It's preventive health care. Born as human beings, we were all once part of a postpartum experience. Every single one of us. As part of a human family and community now, how do you see yourself reflected in the postpartum mirror?